Today I'm here to bust some myths. Dogs can see colours. We do use more than 10% of our brain capacity, and Hondas aren't necessarily too expensive. Case in point, the 2023 Honda Civic Hybrid. In fact, this new hybrid is actually cheaper than the Civic EK GLA Auto hatch was 25 years ago. To find out why, keep watching and I'll explain using my newfound brain capacity. As always, you can like and subscribe, use the chapter markers or time codes here on the screen to get to any point of the video you'd like, and don't forget to read the full review at carsguide.com.au. Now, let's get down to it. Now, if you remember life before the internet, Hondas used to be premium, and the Civic used to be a premium small car that transcended price and class. Then in the 2000s, it went all mainstream, but now Honda is chasing that premium dragon once more. That all changed when the current shape 11th generation Civic launched in late 2021. Only the single VTI LX Turbo Petrol grade was released at $47,200 drive away, and many people thought Honda had lost the plot, as it didn't really offer much above what the Mazda 3 equivalent did, costing thousands of dollars less. It might cost $7,800 more than the petrol-powered VTI LX, matching luxury brands like the base BMW 118i, Audi A3 and Mercedes-Benz A180, but the Japanese hatchback is loaded with features, including digital instrumentation, a panoramic sunroof, leather upholstery, heated and powered adjustable front seats, ambient lighting, and a heated steering wheel. It also comes with an app-based telematics subscription service called Honda Connect, so you can locate the car, remotely lock and unlock it, and turn the lights and climate control on or off as desired, amongst other things. There's even a geo-fencing zone to let the owner know if your pride and joy isn't where you want it to be. Clever stuff. And it's free for the first 5 years. Plus, compared to the non-hybrid Civic, there's extra safety like front and rear parking sensors, a broader view camera system, better pedestrian and cyclist detection, traffic sign recognition with electronic speed limiter technology, and 11 airbags, which must be some sort of record, including one located between the front seat occupants. And that's all before you consider the hybrid powertrain that makes the HEV the most powerful Civic ever sold in Australia, after the legendary Type R, of course. This 11th generation Civic is longer, wider, sleeker and smoother than before. Plus, being a hybrid, the HEV loses the twin tailpipes that the regular VTI petrol version has. That's one way you can identify it. Otherwise, it looks pretty much just like the petrol version. If you look more closely though, you might also pick the blue highlights as well as the subtle HEV badging. We're just glad this Civic has the aesthetic restraint to take on its long-established premium competitors. Try saying that in a hurry. It's certainly the most refined to wear the half-century-old badge since that classic EK of the 1990s. Except, of course, this one is a heck of a lot larger and roomier all round. Let's check that out in more detail. Now, just like the exterior, the interior has become a lot more elegant and less fussy than before. I love this new digital instrumentation. The multimedia system is absolutely the easiest I've ever used in a Honda, and the hybrid has some very specific items such as this drive-by-wire gear selector, as well as a center airbag, a rear seat airbag, and basically all the amenities you can need. It really is lacking for nothing for its $55,000 drive-away price tag, and that is a real bonus. The other thing is this car feels like a medium-sized hatch in terms of interior space. There's lots of shoulder room and leg room. The vision out is really good. There's easy reach for the controls. There's plenty of storage, and just the general ambience is fitting for a car that is priced against things like Mercedes, BMWs and Audis. So in this regard, Honda hasn't dropped the ball. It's really done its homework. Comfort is a high point, with these excellent sports seats keeping their occupants firmly in place, while still offering a wide range of adjustability to help you find your ideal driving position. And here's a big thumbs up. The climate control system, thankfully, doesn't fall into the same trap as many of the Civic's rivals, Hello Golf, in that it has big, simple knobs that you can access instead of having to stab some fiddly touchscreen, all without needing to take your eyes off the road. And the HEV Hybrid's standard panoramic sunroof showers the interior with natural light, which is all the better for showing off the exceptional build and material quality that is evident all over this car. It's all about relaxing and not intimidating the person operating this vehicle. In this day and age, that's a refreshing change. Or am I just being old-fashioned? I guess we'll never know. Likewise, the rear seat area has all the amenities you'll need, such as face level air vents, USB outlets, cup holders, a folding center armrest, and of course the obligatory overhead grab handles. But more importantly, and this absolutely underlines the fact that this has a longer wheelbase as well as wider tracks than the old Civic, you get plenty of leg room. Now I'm 178 centimeters tall and I'm sitting behind myself, and yeah, there's more than enough space. And even though this car has this panoramic sunroof, I have enough headroom so my scalp is easily cleared. So this car can definitely double up as a family car. Because this is a hybrid, you do lose some boot capacity, but the 405 litres you see here is actually the same as the regular petrol version. It's just that this underfloor storage is 45 litres smaller than before. Otherwise, given this is a hybrid, you do get a lot of luggage capacity for the size of this car. That's clever thinking. Now, the regular Civic has a 1.5 four-cylinder turbo engine, while this one is a 2-litre naturally aspirated engine that combines 2 electric motors and a lithium-ion battery pack. Weighing just 132 kilograms over the regular version, the hybrid delivers a system total of 135 kilowatts of power and 315 newton meters of torque to the front wheels via an electronic CVT continuously variable transmission. While that's just 4 kilowatts more than the regular Civic Turbo, it pumps out a handy 75 newton meters more torque, and that's immediately obvious from behind the wheel. Now, unlike, say, Toyota's Series parallel hybrid setup, Honda's system can drive in purely electric mode for long periods of time, especially at slower speeds around town. In these situations, the petrol engine acts just like an electricity generator, keeping the battery topped up as the electric motor does all the driving. However, when you need more acceleration, the petrol engine seamlessly takes over, with the electric motor now providing extra power or helping to save fuel. It's a three-way balancing act between EV, hybrid and petrol motivation, as dictated by the prevailing conditions. Honda says the hybrid sprints to 100 kilometers an hour from standstill in 7.8 seconds officially. But that figure seems to be a very conservative estimate, with independent tests as well as our own seat-of-the-pants feel suggesting that it's at least a second quicker than that. Speaking of feel, the front suspension consists of McPherson-style struts up front and an independent multi-link design out back, just like in the regular petrol models. So, what's the new Civic Hybrid like to drive? Well, if you're familiar with the previous Civic Hybrid sedan from 2006 to about 2015, well, this is nothing like it. That thing was all about eco goodness and not much else really. This car is a Grand Tourer that also happens to be an eco warrior. Now, by that I mean that not only is it amazingly frugal at a 4.2 litre per 100 kilometre combined average rating, which by the way is only a litre per 100 kilometres more than the ultra eco 2-seater Insight, which was the first hybrid vehicle ever sold in Australia in 2001. It's also fast, like it is almost hot hatch fast in the way it accelerates. There's just always torque available, and that's because the electric motor is working in the background to give you that extra punch when you need it. So around town, it's mostly in electric mode. You just tootle around and it's quiet and seamless. And then when you need a little bit more acceleration, you put your foot down, The petrol engine kicks in seamlessly. That CVT transmission is really smooth. It's always in the right gear ratio, and it just moves. It just takes off. There are 3 modes. There's Eco and Normal, and then there's Sport mode. The Sport mode, which we're in now, is amazing because you put your foot down and... Can you hear that? It reminds me of those classic screaming VTEC Civics from the 1990s or something like an S2000. It's a fake noise, but it just is such an evocative sports car sound. It adds another layer of enjoyment to a car that is already dynamically so sorted. The steering is light, yet it's got feel and it has poise and finesse. It goes through corners like, you know, it just flows along the road like it's a sports sedan, and it actually rides really well. I mean, on hard, like craggly surfaces like this, there's a lot of road noise that comes through at times through these quality emission tyres, but generally it is at least as good as an Audi A3 or a Mercedes A-Class or BMW 1 Series. This is just an excellent car to drive, and a car that has really good engineering associated with it. One last thing is that when you're driving around town, it has these paddles that increase the amount of regenerative braking to slow you down, just like it would in an electric vehicle, and that continuously charges the battery, so this never needs to be plugged in or anything like that. All in all, Honda has just done its homework, and it's really sorted out this hybrid thing. If you're after a hot hatch, maybe you should consider the Honda hybrid, and you know, it is definitely the better of the 2 Civics in terms of the way it drives, and it's probably the best Civic we've ever had that isn't a Type R. So that's a huge step forward for the series, and it really restores Honda to the position of being one of the better car makers. At $55,000 for all this, it just seems actually almost like a bargain. It's that good to drive. And one more thing, Honda should have called this the Civic Euro Hybrid, because, viewers, we've finally found the modern day replacement for the legendary Accord Euro. And that is excellent news. The Civic Hybrid manages a combined fuel consumption figure of 4.2 litres per 100 kilometres. That's pretty impressive. Now, there are 2 things to keep in mind here. Firstly, that's a whole 40% less than the 6.3 litres per 100 kilometres that the regular VTI model returns. And secondly, the Honda is tuned to run on regular 91 RON unleaded petrol. Yep, no fancy expensive fuel for this miser. By the way, the Honda's average carbon dioxide emissions average is just 97 grams per kilometre, or almost 43% less than the normal Civic. Vehicle safety specialist ANCAP in Australia hasn't yet published a rating for the latest Civic, but over at Euro NCAP, the new hybrid has recently been awarded a 5-star result. As mentioned earlier, the HEV ups the safety ante compared to the regular Civic on a number of fronts, with 11 rather than 8 airbags, including a front centre item to stop occupants colliding into each other during a side impact, and improved driver assist safety technology. They all build on built-in active safety like great forward vision afforded by the thinner windscreen pillars and that low dashboard design. Honda offers an industry standard 5-year unlimited kilometre warranty, with servicing pegged at every 12 months or 10,000 kilometres. And just like BMW, there's even an engine monitor light to alert the driver when that's due, as every car is driven differently and some may need mechanical attention earlier than others. Importantly, from the 1st of October this year, Honda Australia has dropped the price of dealer scheduled servicing to just $199 per visit for the first 5 years of your new car ownership, and that's across the Honda range. Involving an oil change, brake fluid and filter changes, along with detailed mechanical checks and inspections, this explodes the myth that Hondas are expensive to service. After 50 years on the market, the Civic has finally refound its engineering chops. I'm just going to say it, this new Civic is one of the best premium small cars out there, and I'm including hatchbacks like the BMW 1 Series, Audi A3 and Mercedes-Benz A-Class. As a result, this new Civic Hybrid is a big hit, and that's no myth. The final score is on your screen right now. Don't forget, if you like what you see, to subscribe, and also you can read the full review at carsguide.com.au. Thanks for watching.